Good morning and welcome to Agefi's daily webinar, during which we'll have the pleasure of welcoming investors, portfolio managers, economists to have their views on the current state of affairs, the state of the economy and the financial markets, to hear about their strategies in times of crisis and the investment opportunities and scenarios they see for the COVID and post-COVID world. Every day, a different topic is discussed. Coming up this week, we'll have a webinar on AI and shortly a webinar on short duration corporate bonds. But today, we'll talk specifically about gold and precious metals, the investment opportunities in that sector. And for that, I have the pleasure of being with Mark BURRIDGE and Cosmo STURGE of Baker Steel. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, bonjour.
Good morning.
Mark, you're the managing partner and fund manager at Baker Steel, and Cosmo STURGE, you're a partner and director of market strategy there. Baker Steel is a London-based fund manager and it's represented here in France by Blue Associates to market your funds to French institutional investors. I'm particularly happy to speak to you today. I think it's really timely because gold is really topical these days. Prices have gone up a lot. What's particularly interesting to me is that at Baker Steel, you have a really interesting background, having experience not only as market and investment professionals, but also along and prior to that, strong background and experience in the metals and mining industry. So I think it's a really interesting combination. It makes it really interesting for me to have the pleasure of talking to you today and having our viewers, our audience, listen to your views and understanding of these markets and the opportunities there. I'd like to remind that, of course, our viewers, you're more than welcome to ask your questions in the chat, and we'll be happy to pick them up and answer them. Perhaps the first place to start is, gentlemen, if you could walk us through the DNA of Baker Steel. I've said a few words quickly. The combination of the experience, the industry experience, and the financial industry. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, sure. So Baker Steel was founded in 2001 by David Baker and Trevor Steele, hence the name. David Baker and Trevor Steele had originally come from what is now BlackRock, what was then Mercury Asset Management, and they were running the gold fund over there. And so, you know, the firm has almost a 20-year history of running natural resources investments as a boutique, which is on top of another 10 or 20 years worth of experience in the metals and mining sector. I myself joined as a third managing partner 3 years ago, but I'd known Trevor and David for many years. And between us, we all started off as geologists or metallurgists in the sector. We've all worked in various different functions in the sector. So we're really sector specialists focused on metals and mining. And I think, you know, the experience of that 20 years means that we've learned a lot of lessons and we've seen a lot of cycles. And I think that collective experience is what makes us, like you, very excited about what we see for gold and actually specialty metals coming up.